What's up, YouTube? Josh here with Unbiased MMA Sports Talk, coming to you to preview and give my predictions of this upcoming fight, Usman versus Burns, UFC 258. I'm smoking, and I'm going to give you my predictions here. Let me see. Just a few fights that I want to go over with and talk with you unbiasedly, give you my opinions, predictions, and everything like that. The first fight is actually the first fight of the card. It's Jillian Robertson versus Miranda Maverick. Miranda just made her debut actually a couple months ago with UFC, and she did pretty good. Jillian, haven't watched many of her fights. The only fights I've seen her in is the fight that she happens to be losing. Like the first fight I seen of her was against Macy Barber, which, even though we all know how that went. But ever since then, she has some impressive wins and some interesting losses too. They both are pretty good fighters, pretty good boxers and stuff. I think that, though, this is more of a showcase for Miranda. Like I said, she just made her debut. She looked good. So I think this is a matchup for her just to put on a performance and just lay it on Jillian. Not saying that Jillian's a bad fighter though, but she's had some good wins, and she's fought like some decent people too. So my prediction on that one is I think Miranda's just gonna lay it on her and just keep up the pressure. I see that. I see Jillian being finished in that one. Personally. So the next one that I wanted to talk about was the one on the main card is going to be Kelvin Gastelum and Ian Heinisch. Now, I don't know more about Ian. I don't know much about Ian, I should say. But, I mean, he's fought some interesting guys in the middleweight division. I mean, he's 15 for a reason. I think, again, this is probably more of a showcase for Ian to kind of make his imprint on the middleweight division going against, a competitor like Kelvin Gastelum. And it's also for Gastelum to pretty much show that he still belongs in the middleweight division. Like, he's still good. I mean, he's only 29. I don't know how old the other guy is, but Kelvin's only 29. He's not even in his prime yet, I don't think. With that, though, I always kind of lean towards Kelvin only because, like, he's a good wrestler. And, he had that 5-round crazy fight against Izzy. Like, he's just a good guy. He's just a good fighter. And, it sucked his last fight against Jack. But, that knee bar, man, that was nice. That was nice by Jack. So, can't really blame him. Then he had the other loss against Darren Till. And then the Izzy fight. So, he's on a 3-fight skid. So, I think this is just to get him back in the win column. And also to showcase some new talent, to be like, hey, if you want to be a contender, I mean, you got to go to this guy, So I'm not saying that Kelvin's what you call like a gatekeeper. I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say that. I think this is a fight Kelvin can win. So I'm gonna go with Kelvin on this one. For sure. So the next fight is the co-main, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. I mean, Macy Barber is one of my favorite UFC fighters. I just like her heart. I like her spirit. And I like how blunt she is. Like, she straight up said, I'm going to be the youngest UFC champion. She got an ACL injury. And personally, and maybe this is me being a little biased, but I think that she obviously would have beaten Roxanne if she not had an injury. It wasn't starting out good for her, but I think she would have came through. I think she would have beat Roxanne and got on a nice little win streak. Maybe fought like a Jessica I or, someone else. And probably would be in a contention right now if she wouldn't have gotten injured. So I'm that high on her for sure. Like, she's a good wrestler. She's a good striker. She has power. And honestly, she looks big for the division too. And, like, I don't know, she's a matchup problem for so many girls in that division. I wouldn't say Shevchenko, but, I can see her getting close to at least title contention by her little deadline that she has. I think it's like next January, next year. So she has 11 months to do it. I could see her winning this fight, even though no disrespect to Alexa, because she got hands. that girl got hands. That's why that's why this actually could be one of the fights of the night. Cause like both these girls got hands. Macy Barber's coming to prove something that she still ain't missed a beat. You know what I mean? And Alexa, she just moved up in this weight class and looked good in her last fight. You know, so the hands are going to be thrown in this one. And the thing is, though, Macy's a good wrestler. You know, and you know we've seen countless times against Alexa and Alexa's fights. Like she's been taken down so easily. But you know, there was one fight, I don't remember which one it was. It might have been against, I don't remember which one it was, but she actually showed a pretty decent ground game. Like almost got like a arm bar, Kimura. You know, she was doing submission attempts on the back cause she on her back because like she was gonna take it down easily. I think the difference is with Macy is that she's like a really decent, like a really good wrestler. She trained with Ben Askren. So, this is gonna be a good one. I'm trying to be unbiased here, but so obviously I'm rooting for Macy, but I think just overall I think that Macy Barber beats her everywhere, or you know has a slim advantage everywhere. I'm not very tempted to give her the edge in striking. I think Alexa's striking is so crazy good, you know, and like I said, and she's not the best boxer. Macy isn't. So like it's not like she keeps her hands a little lower, you know what I'm saying, not positioned above her head to protect her face. Sometimes she leaves her head and her chin exposed. So I can see Macy getting pieced up, but I can also see her doing damage, like being one of the first fighters against Alexa to get her on the ground and actually do damage. I think it was I can't think of the name. It was one chick that just kept taking her down, but she wasn't really doing much damage on her, you know what I mean? But I think that's gonna be a difference. I think Macy's gonna get her to the ground if she can, and do damage on the floor. So yeah, I'm going Macy Barber on that one. If she loses this one, it's time to change the nickname, I think. But she's still a good fighter, though. Like, for real, she's still a good fighter. And so, obviously, now the last fight I want to do is the main event. Usman Burns. I think this is such a good freaking fight. It's crazy. Teammates against each other. And Gilbert Burns has looked so freaking good. Man, I don't know how you can hate on Gilbert, man. He's good everywhere, man. Like he's a good grappler. He can wrestle. Obviously, probably not as good as Usman, but he can wrestle. He can hold his own. Otherwise, he wouldn't be taking this fight. Like I think they always be talking about one of them know who's got the better. I think one of them knows that they had the better of each other. One and one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Burns probably knows some areas that he can beat Usman in. He's going to attack that area. And same thing for Usman. He probably knows areas that he can take advantage of on Burns. So, I don't know. I think they both know where they can win the fight for sure. And I think that's what we're going to see. They both know what they can do to win the fight, and that's what they're going to do. I predict the upset, man. And here's the thing. I'm rooting for Usman, though. I'm rooting for Usman. But I think Burns gets it done. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Burns gets it done. I think Burns has the advantage on the feet. Hands down. Has the advantage on the feet. I'm not even sure if I've ever seen Usman actually knock someone out. So not saying that he doesn't have power, punching power, because we've seen what he did with Kobe, and like I get that. I'm saying like one punch KO power that Gilbert Burns has been doing. like knock you to the floor, knockout, like you're knocked out power. Not like he did with Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Kobe was weak over time, and those jabs sat him down for sure in the 5th round. But I'm talking Gilbert Burns. He has power and precision. And Kamaru isn't the best boxer in the world. Like, it's not like he has crazy boxing. Like, Kamaru Usman is good everywhere. I'm not gonna say he's great everywhere. Kamaru Usman is good everywhere, and I think that is a recipe of a good, champion or a good fighter. I mean, look at all the champions. There, you can probably say every single UFC champion is good somewhere. Every UFC champion, they're good. They're good everywhere. I should say, they're good everywhere. And I don't say they're great or bad in any one area. They're good everywhere, and that's what Usman is. But the difference is Burns. I mean, Burns is great everywhere except for wrestling. You know what I mean? So, like, Burns is a great grappler. He's a great striker. Great in jiu-jitsu. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so Kamaru Usman is good everywhere and great in wrestling. Burns is great everywhere, but okay/good in wrestling. You know what I mean? But Burns is talking about, I challenge you to take him to the floor. He wants to be taken to the ground. Man. So, like, he got some tricks up his sleeve. And listen, I'm the one in the past that normally would go for the jiu-jitsu guy in a wrestling fight. In an MMA fight. Wrestler versus jiu-jitsu, I'm taking the jiu-jitsu person every single time. Every single time. Because, like, wrestlers like Anderson Silva, Damian Maia, Gilbert Burns, like, they do their best work on their back. So, like, you know, and if you're a wrestler, you obviously want to get someone on their back and do ground and pound. So they're going to invite that stuff. And so that's why I'm like, if Usman doesn't want to take it to the ground and he wants to keep it standing, like, his boxing isn't that. I mean, you can even see in the sparring footages, like Gilbert Burns is piecing him out. He's piecing them up, even like in the promo videos of them sparring. Like, really pay attention to that stuff. Slow it down. Excuse me. Like, pay attention to that stuff. Slow it down. Gilbert Burns is piecing him up. And Usman is like getting caught by surprise in some of these punches. Like, watch the film. Watch it. I'm not making this up. Like, it's sparring, so, like, you know, but still, Burns has like a little pep in his step. He's bouncing around. This is in the promo sparring footage that they show us. I don't have no inside knowledge. You can look at the promo footage. Gilbert Burns is piecing him up, so I don't know. I say all that because I don't know. I don't think that Usman wants this fight standing. He'd be a fool. And if he does, I mean, I could see a TKO finish. Because it's not like, you know, Usman can get hit. Look at the Colby Covington fight. He's been hit and rocked. He's been hit and he's been rocked. So, man, and the thing is, the reason why I'm rooting for Usman is just because obviously he's African American. And you know, so I got to root for him just off that. Biasly, I have to. You know, and just the fact that he is so close to making history with the 13 victories, beating St. Pierre. And I think he has all the makings to be a dominant champion. You know what I mean? He has all the makings, and he already is. And that's the sad part. He already is kind of dominating the welterweight division. It's just, there's so much things in his game that I think he can just improve on outside of his wrestling. Because that's really all he can do. I mean, I think in the Colby Covington fight, that really showed, like, that shows that he will box with you, but also showed that he's not the best boxer. Even though he connected with some good hits. But I don't know the strike count, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty close. But he was also getting pieced up by Kobe. So that's why I think that Burns will get this one. I think Burns will get it done and be the new champion. And if Burns is champion, I think he's going to be, like, I believe him when he said he's going to be busy champion. But I also think he could be a dominant champion because he has the makings to be a dominant champion. At first, I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. But he has the makings to be a pretty dominant champion, too. So I'm rooting for Usman, but I think Burns gets it done. Probably a TKO finish because I don't think that Usman wants to get on the ground. He didn't get on the ground with Damian Maia. Go back and watch. That man made sure that Damian Maia did not get a piece of his hip when he went on the ground. Like, no way. You know what I'm saying? And if he plays that game against Burns and keeps it standing, it's a TKO finish for me. it's a TKO finish for me. So there you have it. Those are my predictions. I am a little high. I'm going to submit this before the fight so I can go back when I'm not high and be like, oh, I was right. So thank y'all for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. And man, I cannot wait for this fight to start. Let's get it.